All praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. How is everybody doing today? So, the first thing I'm going to do is give you all a quick update on some of the information coming out about the very rogue cop that pulled a gun on Terrence Crawford. There was a report about the incident that happened. Blue Blood Sports TV covered this already. The cop that pulled the gun on Terrence Crawford, as we saw video, allegedly he made a report that he hadn't pulled a gun on Terrence Crawford. So he's lying. I'm yet to get information on this cop's name, his badge ID, his location where he lives, and other details. As you know, I went on a rant yesterday concerning that cop, as well as the other cops that detained Terrence Crawford, allegedly for reckless driving. This is the charge I assume that he was held for. In some accounts, we're finding out that Crawford wasn't driving recklessly. So there's that as well. So it seems as though Terrence Crawford was stopped for no valid reason by these cops, held at gunpoint, as if these cops were criminals and robbers looking to rob Terrence Crawford of his dignity, and held at gunpoint, and this is something that's all too prevalent in the United States of America. Very recently, a Black Panther came out to protect the Black community against the police in another state because they were abusing the Black citizens in a particular community, these cops. And I don't think it's rogue cops. I think it's the way how the cops are trained. Shoot first, ask questions later, which really doesn't work with normal going citizens. You may be able to do that maybe against very hardened criminals when you're going on a seek and destroy mission. And even then, you have to be careful how you conduct yourself. But you definitely cannot do that to civilians, especially if the civilian has called you for help. On several occasions, cops have been in civilians' homes and blown their heads off because they perceive them as a threat. I don't care if you perceive a civilian as a threat or not. The first course of action should not be excessive force. The first course of action should be non-lethal. And even in that non-lethal action, it could be extreme, like you tase someone or whatever. It still could be very extreme. So, somebody needs to give me names. By now, the name of the officers in charge of such an exercise should be known. Their badge number should be known. And their whereabouts should be known. I know the relevant people who need to know this information have already known it, but I would like to put it all over the internet. I don't like to see these people be anonymous people. They have names. They have certain positions in the police department. You see, if you know that this person's a repeat offender in violating the law, you hear this name pop up multiple times, and the police department does nothing about it, then you know you have a rogue cop on your hands, and action can be taken accordingly. So as I said before, I'm not going to let go of this topic. The name of the individual officer, his badge number, and all the accompanying officers with him, but particularly the one that drew the gun on Terrence Crawford and handcuffed him, I want to know the information concerning that individual. I'm not going to let that slide. I'm not going to let that just fade out. Because this is the problem with society. When we just let things slide, we just let them, just go away. No, no, no. The world wants to know, who is the officer with the audacity to feel that somehow he has some kind of power to pull people over in a road because he feels like doing so, and then trump up charges against them and point his gun at them to intimidate them. We want to know. So that if we hear that name again, we'll know that the Omaha City Police have not been doing a good job of vetting the people that they put out on the streets to deal with civilians. In fact, I will go as far as to say this man is a bad cop, lying in his report on what transpired. So he's not only a liar, he's a danger to civilians in society, pulling his gun on an armed person in a vehicle. And from what I'm hearing, the charges that he's trumping up on this gentleman, a charge of reckless speeding, that's also a lie. So we have a liar, okay? We have a two-time liar. We have an extremely violent person who is willing to shoot in the head someone who is not being arrested for anything, who has not resisted arrest, who has been complying with whatever the officer says. These kinds of cops give the popo a bad name. Period. I don't care what you're going through in your life. There's no reason to threaten the life of another individual without due cause. And this officer abused the position he has as a police officer. And it's not enough for him to be suspended. It's not enough for him and his compatriots to be suspended from the force with pay. It's not enough for him to go through a court case and for the Omaha City Police to be sued up the wazoo for harassment and also for damages done mentally and otherwise to the people who have been offended, who have kept the law, law-abiding citizens. That's not enough. It has to go further than that. That officer, we must know who he is, his name, his ID badge, and we must also know where he lives and where he goes. We want to know every movement he makes because he could be a terror, he could be a threat to civilians in the community if we don't know where his whereabouts are. And no, I'm not going to let that go. I'm not one of those people. You do not have the power to jeopardize the life of another human being because you think you have the authority to do so because you wear a badge. Officers are there first and foremost to protect, and that's what their service is about. You're a protector. This officer behaved like an abusive person. And abusive people are not what society needs today. So I wanted to address that before I go into something else. We're going to talk a little bit about, I know this is more of a fan thing, but nonetheless, the 5 best small forwards in the NBA, as far as we know. This is a position. Who played that position best? So we're going to look at the best Best small forwards in the NBA. In front of you, see a couple of them here. We have a couple of them here. Not all of them are small forwards. You have centers here. You have point guards. You have a mix, what you're seeing there. But these right here are small forwards. So you can see there, you have Scottie Pippen. You have Larry Bird, Paul Pierce, Elton Baylor. You have James Worthy, Chris Mullin, LeBron James, Dr. J, Kawhi Leonard, and not sure who that guy in the back there is. All right. So let's talk about it a little bit. I'm going to start it off with a video that's on YouTube that you guys may be familiar with or not familiar with. But I'm going to start with that. Okay. So let me start with this.
All right, top 5 small forwards. LeBron, Bird, Dr. J, KD. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Do not put his name in that.
I'll do it, Mars.
It's not Scottie Pippen. Thank you. It's not Scotty. Thank you.
Oh, my God. James, Bird, KD, Doc, Pippen. Pippen is not top 5 because you've got Bird, James, Dr. J, Elgin Baylor, and then KD and Dominique. All better than him.
Okay. So this is how we're going to start off the debate a little bit. Now, these guys obviously are haters of Scottie Pippen. This big fat... Anyway, never mind. So this was on YouTube. And I thought, well, these guys talking about their top 5. Let's just hear it. Now, names that popped up there. Listen again.
All right, top 5 small forwards. LeBron, Bird, Dr. J, KD. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Do not put his name in that.
I'll do it, Mars.
It's not Scottie Pippen. Thank you. It's not Scotty. Thank you.
Oh, my God. James, Bird, KD, Doc, Pippen. Pippen is not top 5 because you've got Bird, James, Dr. J, Elgin Baylor, and then KD and Dominique. All better than him.
Okay, so there were some names that floated around. And I wanted to play it twice so you guys could hear it. They spoke of Larry Bird. They spoke of LeBron James. I spoke of KD, which is Kevin Durant. They spoke of Elton Baylor. They spoke of Dominique Wilkins. All right. What else did they say? Hold on.
All right, top 5 small forwards. LeBron, Bird, Dr. J, KD.
Dr. J.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. Do not put his name in that.
I'll do it, Mars.
It's not Scottie Pippen. Thank you. It's not Scotty. Thank you.
Oh, my God. James, Bird, KD, Doc, Pippen. Pippen is not top 5 because you've got Bird, James, Dr. J, Elgin Baylor, and then KD and Dominique. All better than him.
He said Agent Baylor, and he also said Dominique Wilkins. The white guy says they're all better than Pippen. All right, so let's just address what they say first. Nobody argues that LeBron is one of the best small forwards to ever be in the NBA. Nobody's saying that. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When we talk about basketball small forwards, the greatest basketball small forwards of all time, LeBron James comes up, Scottie Pippen comes up, Julius Erving comes up, Larry Bird comes up, Elgin Baylor, Kevin Durant, James Worthy, Rick Barry, Kawhi Leonard, Carmelo Anthony, Dominique Wilkins, Paul Pierce, Adrian Dantley, Alex English, Paul George, Bernard King, Chris Mullin, Jimmy Butler, Grant Hill, Billy Cunningham, Sean Marion, Jamal Wilkes, Cliff Hagan, Tracy McGrady, and so on and so on. Glenn Rice and so on. Okay. Michael Jordan was not a small forward. He was a point guard. Anyway, so small forwards. And you could see the haters, they didn't want to mention Scottie Pippen. The guy never mentioned, he never mentioned his fifth player. He just said not Scottie Pippen. So there was, it's hateration going on there. There's no absolute reasoning. Again, you don't have to like Scottie Pippen to put him in the top 5, but I'm just saying. Now, clearly, the best small forwards that you can ever have in basketball, Scottie Pippen is among them. The question is he top 5? Well, let's look at what they were talking about. They talked about Dominic. Well, shall we start with Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant. Now, let me say this. When I mention top 5 small forwards, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that Kevin Durant and all these other guys, I will say, who would I rather have on my team? Who would I rather have on my team as a small forward if I'm having a team to play to win championships? This is how I look at it. So this is my criteria. My criteria is I want to get a championship. And I want to get the best possible way to get that championship. So this is what I'm looking at it in the context of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is an interesting guy. He had some skill. Big guy. He played for the Houston Rockets. He also played for the Golden State Warriors. And he also played for the Seattle Supersonics and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay. He also played for the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns. He's presently playing for the Houston Rockets. Okay. Now, Kevin Durant is a 2-time NBA champion. He was a champion in 2017, 2018. Okay. He was one of the first draft picks as well. And quite frankly, all his other accomplishments to me is fluff because we're dealing with team basketball. What I care about is championships, right? Ultimately, that's the biggest award. I don't care about MVP and all that individual stuff. Y'all can take that and throw it in the trash because you could be called the most valuable player, but your team doesn't win no fucking championship, right? So I don't really care about that. I care about, does your team win a championship? That's what makes you valuable to me. So I look at all his accomplishments, Olympic Games, etc. And then I say, well, let's look at his stats here. Somewhere is his stats. Where's his stats? Come on, goddammit. What is his career stats? And I can't seem to find it. Not quite sure why I can't seem to find it. I swear to God it was somewhere. But he's considered a small forward. I don't know why I can't find the stats all of a sudden. Well, it's supposed to be here. For some reason, I have to look at NBA.com, so I'm going to look at NBA.com. All right, so his career stats so far is he scores 26.6 points a game. He's had 6 rebounds in his career and 4 assists. That's his career stats. Wait a minute. Is this his career stats or is this his stats for the Houston Rockets? This could be the stats for the Houston Rockets. I want to know his fucking career stats, you dumb fuck. No, I don't want for 2024, 2025, you dumb motherfucker. I want his stats, his career stats. His career stats are he scored 27 points, had 6 rebounds, and 4 assists for his career. We're not going to do the .4 thing and all that shit, okay? this is what his career stats look like. So that means when you get him, he's going to give you about 27 points. He's going to give you 7 rebounds, and he'll give you about 4 assists per game. Okay? That's his career stats. Okay. So that's Kevin Durant. Now, here's the interesting thing about Kevin Durant, though. Okay? Kevin Durant joined, he won his 2 championships with the Golden State Warriors. The thing about that is, when we look at the Golden State Warriors here, and in terms of championships, you see that the Golden State Warriors won championships in 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2022. In other words, the Golden State Warriors won a championship without 2 championships without Kevin Durant. Before Kevin Durant came, they had won a championship in 2015, and they were close to winning one again 2016. So he was just an additional piece to the Golden State Warriors. And even when he left the Golden State Warriors still went on to win a championship in 2022. So in other words, the Golden State Warriors didn't need Kevin Durant. He wasn't absolutely necessary for them to win a championship. They won 2 championships with them, but he wasn't an essential part of that team to win a championship. Okay. All right. So let's keep that in mind. They won championships before. It wasn't like Kevin Durant was going to get them a championship. They had won championships before, and they won championships after he left, meaning that he wasn't necessary like that for the Golden State Warriors to win a championship. He wasn't an integral piece of that team. This is very important to realize as we look at Kevin Durant. Okay? He's a scoring machine. No doubt about that. He scores a lot. He'll give you some rebounds. Give you 7 rebounds a game. Okay. It's Kevin Durant. Now, according to the haters of Scottie Pippen, he's a better player than Scottie Pippen. Let's look at Scottie Pippen's career and his stats. Scottie Pippen. Okay. His career stats. Scottie Pippen will give you career-wise. Okay. This includes, before the championship times, during the championship times, and after the championship times. On average, he'll give you 16 points a game. He'll give you 6 rebounds, and he'll give you 5 assists. Scottie Pippen. And let's just make sure that's correct. Yep. Career-wise, that's what you'll get with Scottie Pippen. Now, that's significantly lower than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had 27 points a game. He had 1 more rebound, and you get 1 less assist from him per game. The thing about it, though, with Scottie Pippen, is that Scottie Pippen won championships for the Chicago Bulls. He won 6 championships from 1991 to 1993, 1996 to 1998. Before and after Scottie Pippen's appearance on the Bulls, the Bulls never won a championship afterwards. Scottie Pippen was integral to the team winning championships. Him and Michael Jordan. In the 1991-1993 championship run, Scottie Pippen was there. The 1996 to 1998 championship run, Scottie Pippen was there. The only 2 Bulls teammates that were there for those 2 runs of championships was Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. So Scottie Pippen was integral to the Chicago Bulls' 2 championship runs. Again, like I said before, I don't care about MVPs and all that bullshit. I don't even care if you put up 40, 50 points. This is a team sport. And Scottie Pippen, when it comes to the Chicago Bulls, was an essential part of the Chicago Bulls winning championships. Without Scottie Pippen, you ain't winning no championship of the Bulls team, even if you have Michael Jordan there. Okay, so while Scottie Pippen put up less numbers than Kevin Durant, KD, Pip was more important to the Bulls team than Kevin Durant was to the Golden State Warriors, the only team where he won 2 championships. But it wasn't because he was a central piece to the team. He was a piece to the team that was irreplaceable, that was an anchor to the team, that without him, they ain't going to win no more championships. He wasn't like that. He wasn't indisposable, as Scottie Pippen was to his team. So what I'm saying is, when I think of Scottie Pippen and what he brought to the game, Scottie Pippen was an 8-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. 8 times. Second NBA Third Team All Defensive. And then 2-time NBA All Defensive Second Team. That's a 10-time NBA All Defensive Team. Scottie Pippen was an incredibly great defensive player. I mean, he can guard multiple positions at any particular time. His thing was defense, actually. He loved playing defense. KD wouldn't give you that. In fact, in terms of all-round playing, Scottie Pippen was the best all-round player for the Chicago Bulls and that era of basketball. He was the best all-round basketball player. Scottie Pippen would do whatever is necessary to ease the burden on the Bulls. He had great offense. He could shoot the 3 ball. He could pull up, shoot jumpers. He could slash to the basket and get points. And he could play defense. And he could cover the weakened areas. The people who couldn't cover their defense well, he could compensate for that, double team with them. Orchestrate moving a point guard into the defensive lane. So Scottie Pippen brought to the Chicago Bulls what Kevin Durant did not bring to the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant just had to pass the ball. He wasn't really a guy coming up. He wasn't a point forward like Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen wasn't just a forward. He was a point forward. He sort of was a facilitator like Magic Johnson, except Magic Johnson played the point guard position. He was a huge guy that played point guard position. But Scottie Pippen played the forward position as Horace Grant played the forward position. Yet he brought the ball up the floor as if he was a point guard. And what's amazing about Scottie Pippen is that, as Dennis Rodman so correctly said, he was the originator of what LeBron James today does, which is he's the originator of the point forward position. Okay? The guy bringing the ball up the court, weird as it sounds, was Scottie Pippen, even though he's really a forward. And he could slash to the basket and so on, but he could do multiple things and set up plays and distribute the ball at the same time. So I'm going to say this. Based on my criteria, I disagree with the haters out there of Scottie Pippen. I think that Kevin Durant is not a good player, as good a player as Scottie Pippen. I don't care about all the accolades and stuff you got. If I'm making a team, Scottie Pippen is coming on my team before Kevin Durant comes on my team. Because what Scottie Pippen could bring to my team, particularly if my team is running the triangle offense, Kevin Durant can't bring. These are all the intangibles that stats do not give you numbers for. You know? All right. Not to mention Scottie Pippen's performance on other teams like the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers. Well, particularly the Portland Trailblazers, where they were going to, if the Trailblazers had beaten the LA Lakers in Game 7, they would have gone on to win the NBA championship, I believe. And also, Scottie Pippen's season in the 1993-1994 season with the Chicago Bulls, if they hadn't got that bad decision, I think they would have gone on to win the series in 6, and they probably would have won everything because they would have gone on to beat the Houston Rockets, I believe, because they beat the Houston Rockets that year. So I know it was regular season, but still, I'm just saying. So there were 2 times when Scottie Pippen came to the threshold of winning a championship, both for the Chicago Bulls and for the Portland Trailblazers. So when you talk about Scottie Pippen, you know, the caliber of player that Scottie Pippen was, you just needed to add one more element to the team he was on, and that team would be a championship team. Even when Michael Jordan wasn't there, even when, you know, he needed one more person to help him with the Portland Trailblazers to carry them over that edge, you know? So Scottie Pippen, I believe, is a better player than Kevin Durant in terms of the small forward position, right? When it comes to playing defense, he's a superior player by miles to Kevin Durant. You need to shut down the other team. Scottie Pippen get it done for you. You know, Kevin Durant's an absolute scoring machine. Durant can shoot. You remind me of Glenn Rice in some respects. He can also slash to the rim. But I think Pippen would shut down Kevin Durant if they were playing on opposing teams. I don't think Kevin Durant could do anything with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is a problem for anybody, you know, defensively. So Kevin Durant, though he was, I believe this is Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen in 1987 was the first round pick. He was the 5th overall pick in the NBA draft. Kevin Durant, I believe, was the 2nd pick, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on a second. I think he was the 2nd pick. But all of that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, he was the first round in 2007, 2nd overall pick. But that means absolutely nothing. It's your career, really, that I have to look at. And if you're looking for championships, Scottie Pippen was your guy. And some people like to say, well, Scottie Pippen was, you know, like a good second man. He was like a Batman. No. Scottie Pippen, if he was the guy you're building your franchise around, yeah, Scottie Pippen would get you a champion. But just understand this. Just because you get Scottie Pippen doesn't mean you're going to get a championship this very same year that you get Scottie Pippen. That's the thing that a lot of people didn't understand. Scottie Pippen, even in the twilight of his career, you acquire Scottie Pippen, but you're building a team. So there still would need to be some other players around Scottie Pippen. I think that the Portland Trailblazers proved the point that Scottie Pippen was that kind of dude. He did kind of decay after that and didn't do so well with the Portland Trailblazers after that. And of course, they bounced up LA again and they couldn't get over the hump. They hadn't acquired a player to give Scottie that assistance to get them over the hump. And Scottie Pippen single-handedly took on basically the LA Lakers, carrying the Portland Trailblazers because it was a young team as well, as a veteran too. So, you know, but I would just say this, that I don't think that Kevin Durant's a better player or even on the same level as a Scottie Pippen. I don't see it. And I definitely would pick Scottie Pippen over Kevin Durant any day of the week. If I'm forming a team, I need defense. I need a guy who can make the plays. He can make it easier for the other teammates. He can facilitate that movement of the ball. You know, he can take one for the team, and he has championship experience. And I mean, this guy delivers. He delivers on championships. If that's what you want, this dude will get you championships. You know, I think that Scottie Pippen is a better small forward than Kevin Durant any day of the week. That's my opinion. Now you have to understand the context in which I'm talking. Now, Julius Erving. Julius Erving is one of those high flyers. Julius Erving won 4 championships. Okay, he's small forward, 6'6". Julius Erving much shorter than Scottie Pippen. He was a 2-time ABA champion, and he was an NBA champion in 1983. And the team he won that NBA championship with, if I'm not mistaken, he won with, let's see here. He won with the Philadelphia 76ers. And he won also with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he also won with the New York Nets. Now, before the NBA came into existence, it was the ABA, the American Basketball Association. Then it became the National Basketball Association later on. So he has 3 championships. Now, here's the thing. If you look at his stats here, he has a scoring machine, 24 points per game. He'll give you almost 9 rebounds, which is crazy. And he also give you 4 assists, which is like the average. So when it comes to like rebounding the ball and blocking the ball and stuff like that, he was like a Michael Jordan in that respect. Okay. He gave you 3 championships. Okay. Was he an integral guy for the teams he was on? Absolutely. He was also very entertaining. So when it comes to very entertainment, absolutely. Julius Erving, Dr. J, very entertaining. Now the question will be, do I put Julius Erving over Scottie Pippen? When it comes to being entertaining, he won slam dunk competitions, all of that stuff. Very entertaining guy. But my thing is, did he win championships? Is this a guy that if I go to him, I'm gonna get championships? This is what we want to know. I'm building a team, a championship team. I don't care about all them other awards. I'm interested more in, can I get a championship out of him? He was on the ABA All-Defensive First Team in 1976. That's his only defensive stuff I see there. Again, spectacular. Human highlight film. Dominic Wilkins reminds me something of Dr. J to some degree. Michael Jordan, of course. Very entertaining. When it comes to entertainment, Julius Erving, Dr. J was very entertaining. Now, having said all of that, he won 3 championships. 1 with the Philadelphia 76ers and 2 with the New York Nets. Not the New York Knicks, the New York Nets. I'm going to say this. Fantastic player, Dr. J. Leaping ability was crazy. Scoring, how he scored was brilliant. But on the defensive end, he lacked some. Right? Great offensive player. Had good D. But he didn't have defense like Scottie Pippen. Scored more. Passed less. But he had great scoring, but he didn't have the kind of defense that Scottie Pippen had to shut down players and change games. So now y'all going to look at me and say, Was Dr. J integral in the Philadelphia 76ers success and the New York Nets success? Okay, so let's look. With the New York Nets, they won 2 titles. In 1974 and 1976, the only 2 titles that the New York Nets won were when Dr. J was on the team. Okay, so when Dr. J was on the team in 1974 and 1976, they won titles. They did not win titles before that or after it. With respect to the Philadelphia 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers won championships before 1983, but that was way back in 1967. So the year that they won a championship, Dr. J was on that team. In other words, without Dr. J on the 76ers team, they ain't winning no championship. So it showed me that Dr. J was integral in the championships that were won by the Nets and by the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay? He was integral. So this is an important point. I wouldn't be surprised he was the guy that led the Philadelphia 76ers and even led the New York Knicks to their victories. He was considered NBA's most valuable player in 1981, the ABA's most valuable player in 1974 to 76. So that just proves the point that he was the guy, because they got the championships for the New York Nets in 1974 and 1976. So that proves the point. And then, of course, in 81, he was the most valuable player. It was in 83 that they actually won the championship. Nonetheless, in 83, I would think he would be the most valuable player. The fact that he got them the championship. Again, I only look at championships. I don't even care about all the other stuff. All right? Now, all the other stuff is cool, but if I'm going to form a team in the NBA, I want to get championships out of that team. That's the whole point, right? I don't care about all the other peripheral things. Julius Erving, the thing about Dr. J, Julius Erving is this. He did it, and he did it with 2 different teams. He brought championships to them. And he was an integral player on those teams. Scottie Pippen had to do it with Michael Jordan or somebody else to help him. You know. Julius Erving, on the other hand, he did it with different players. Something like LeBron James. He got championships with 2 different teams, and he got those championships with different players from different teams, right? So you have to take all of that in consideration when you're talking about Dr. J. Would you want Dr. J on your team as a small forward? And of course, I would say this, absolutely I would. Now, do I rank him higher than Scottie Pippen, or do I rank him lower or on the same level as Scottie Pippen? I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna answer this honestly. If I gotta pick somebody as a small forward, Scottie Pippen does a hell of a lot more than Julius Erving does, but Julius Erving give you highlight reels, and he score in all kinds of impressive ways. Okay, so would I want Julius Erving on that team as another small forward? Absolutely. The question would be really, is he going to be leading the team or is Scottie Pippen leading the team? You know? So those would be some of the questions. Of course, he runs a different system than Scottie Pippen, but now do I rank Julius Erving above Scottie Pippen or do I rank Julius Erving below Scottie Pippen? Now, remember, my criteria is getting championships. I know if I got a Scottie Pippen on my team, my chances is to get the championship are higher than if I don't have him on the team. But the question is it higher than if I had Julius Erving on my team? That's the question, right? And it's a great question because Julius Erving did it all by himself, meaning not all by himself. He had support and stuff. But all I'm saying is he produced championships. When he came on our team, he was going to get a championship in an era where it was hard to get championships. So put that in perspective. This guy won in 1983, right? When the Celtics and the Pistons and the L.A. Lakers was, they were in full swing. So that got to count for something. So, if you're going to talk about Dr. J, yes, Pippen got more championships, but he had it with one team. He came close to winning championships with another team, Portland Trail Blazers. But he only won championships with one team. That's just fact. And he did it with Michael Jordan. Julius Erving didn't do it with any specific person. Like that person was integral to them winning championships. He did it with different players. That got to count for something. Now, I know in Julius Erving's game, he's a scorer mostly. And, he'll get that ball into the hoop one way or another. Now, he wasn't a three-point shooter like Scottie Pippen was. Like pull up on a dime and shoot. He wasn't as good defensively as Scottie Pippen was. But the thing about Julius Erving is, you need him to get a bucket for you. He gonna get that bucket for you. He know how to drive to the basket. He know how to slash to the basket. He know how to dunk. He know how to shoot from outside. So this is the thing about Julius Erving. If you want excitement, you take Julius Erving on the team. Now, do I think that he's more solid than Scottie Pippen in terms of all-around game? No. Scottie Pippen's all-around game is deeper, way deeper, particularly defensively, than Julius Erving. But having said that, and he is a bigger player than Julius Erving as well, physically. But having said that, Julius Erving, as a small forward, was a hell of a player that led teams to championships. Exclusively, Julius Erving didn't have no partner like Al Jordan and Pippen teamed up to lead the Bulls to championships. Julius Erving didn't have that. So I could see Scottie Pippen playing with Julius Erving, for instance, and they teaming up. And they win a couple more championships than they normally would. Now, how do I rank Julius Erving? Do I rank him above Scottie Pippen? Do I rank him on the same level as Scottie Pippen? Do I rank him below Scottie Pippen? It's a tough one. I'll tell you this. Dr. J inspired so many players to do what he did in basketball. And he came before Scottie Pippen. And while he played a different kind of basketball to Scottie Pippen, I have to consider the impact he's had on the sport of basketball, breeding Jordan, Michael Jordan. So all of that put into perspective, and the fact that he had 3 championships, he led teams to 3 championships, just 1 championship short of what LeBron James did. We have to think about all of that before we put it into perspective with Scottie Pippen. I'll tell you what. I know this. Julius Erving will be in the top 5 best forwards, small forwards of all time. Because he was only 6'6". He wasn't 6'9" like Scottie Pippen. He ran. Okay. So, I got him in my top 5. But I can't definitively say if he was better than Scottie Pippen or if they're on the same level. Maybe I'll put them on the same level because again, Julius Erving led He was an important person in the team, and he led these teams to victories in a very competitive era, which was dominated by other teams. So he was like the Michael Jordan kind of guy of that era. So and playing the forward position, mind you. Jordan didn't play the forward position; he was a point guard. So putting all of that in perspective, you have to say that Julius Erving, I would want him on my team for sure, because I know this guy could lead a team to championships. He literally did that 3 times in his career. Scottie Pippen needed Jordan. Jordan needed Scottie Pippen, right? Scottie Pippen came close to doing it. So I would say if he was with Scottie Pippen, if they were on the same team, I could see them winning more championships than Julius Erving got. Because Julius Erving showed he can get championships with whoever he's with. Now, enhance that with Scottie Pippen being the guy that he's playing with. And who knows how many championships he could have won. Definitely more than 3 that Julius Erving pushed. So, you have to think about it like that, And Julius Erving basically was the precursor to Michael Jordan, So, yeah, if I had to say, I wouldn't talk about who was better than who in this case. In my opinion, I don't want to say they'd be on the same level, because Julius Erving literally led teams. He didn't need Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen needed Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen. This is just facts. Scottie Pippen led teams to the threshold, Eastern Conference Finals, 7th game. He still never got to the championship, the actual championship series. He never got there. Julius Erving did that by himself. I don't mean by himself, but you get what I'm saying. He was the important factor. He reminded me of LeBron James. LeBron James was one better than him. So if I'm looking for championships, I definitely want Julius Erving on my team. Is he top 5 best small forward of all time? As a fan, I would say yes, absolutely. Scottie Pippen's there with him, and you imagine those two playing together, or even LeBron and Scottie Pippen playing together. So there's no doubt in my mind, LeBron is one of the top 5. Julius Erving is one of the top 5. Scottie Pippen is one of the top 5. And I'm going to go into more detail on this so you guys will see what I'm talking about. But definitely Kevin Durant I don't see him as a better small forward than Scottie Pippen. Now, the other person that they mentioned was Dominique Wilkins. Again, all of these guys are talking about these guys because these guys were scorers. So they're only looking at the scoring aspect of the game of basketball. And they're not looking really at what else do these guys bring to the table. And I'm not saying Dominique Wilkins didn't play defense pretty well. He didn't say he blocked shots. I didn't say he wasn't a good rebounder. But what I'm saying is, where's his championships? Where's his rings? And he was on some really great teams, Okay, so let's talk about him. Dominique Wilkins. And Dominique was a hell of a player, but no championships. Right? He played for the Atlanta Hawks from 82 to 94. Then he plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. He played for the Boston Celtics. He played for the San Antonio Spurs. And he played for the Orlando Magic. So he played for a number of different teams. And especially with the Atlanta Hawks, he had a great set of guys around him. He was a prolific scorer. So when you look at Dominique Wilkins' average in terms of scoring, 25 points per game. That's a hell of a lot of scoring, right? Kevin Durant scored a little bit more than him, but that's a lot of points. I mean, this dude put up 40, sometimes 50 points a game, okay? Scottie Pippen put up 47 points a game. I think that was his career highest, right? These guys could score. In terms of rebounds, he give you 7 rebounds a game. Solid stuff. That's like Kevin Durant. In terms of assists, though, he only give you 3 assists a game. Scottie Pippen give you 5. Kevin Durant give you 4. Dr. J give you 4. You could tell Dr. J, Kevin Durant, and even more so Dominic Wilkins, they're scorers, right? When you're in the small forward position, you're really there to score, right? Scottie Pippen revolutionized that with the point forward position, where he didn't just score, he distribute the ball. You bring the ball up the court, like if he's a point guard, he set up the offense, he direct the offense, all that kind of shit. Scottie Pippen was doing. That wasn't the job of Dominic Wilkins. That wasn't the job of Kevin Durant. That wasn't even the job of Julius Erving. This is where Scottie Pippen separates himself from these guys. This is what makes him different. This is why he got 6 championships. This is why Michael Jordan loves Scottie Pippen, right? That's why I said Scottie Pippen with LeBron James or Julius Erving, even Scottie Pippen with Dominic Wilkins, it's going to work. It's going to work because Scottie Pippen's a guy who could fill in the gaps so that you could become a championship team and then everybody have their jobs eased of because of Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen will give you defense, right? Clearly, Dominic Wilkins didn't pass the ball much. He was like a normal power forward, like Horace Grant. Dominic was like a Horace Grant, So Scottie Pippen would be feeding him the ball quite often. Now, having said all of that, this dude didn't win no championships. So I can't put Dominic Wilkins on my championship team. I can't. Because as great as he was and all of that, and even his supporting cast and all of that, he never won a championship. So I don't know where these guys are coming up with the thought that somehow Dominic Wilkins is a better player than Scottie Pippen. I don't know what that white boy be talking about. You can't say that. He's not a better small forward than Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen won 6 championships. And it was integral to winning championships. Dominic Wilkins won no championships. That's like saying that Charles Barkley, is a better power forward, because he was a power forward center than Akeem Olajuwon. It is just not true. Okay? And by the same token, there's no way Dominic Wilkins and again, I'm trying to make a team. I'm trying to make a team where I win championships. The facts show that Dominic Wilkins, no matter what you say, has never won a championship. Not with support, not without support. He didn't lead a team to championship. He never did it. He would need more pieces to be able to do that as a small forward. When I look at Scottie Pippen, he was integral. He was a central figure in the Bulls winning championships. So I can't, y'all talk about Kevin Durant, y'all talk about him being on the same level as Scottie Pippen. He's not. Dominic Wilkins, he's not on the same level as Scottie Pippen. He's not even on the same level as Kevin Durant. I hate to say it like that because Dominic Wilkins is a hell of an entertaining dunk out contest, the whole 9 yards. But if I'm forming a team and I need a small forward, he's not going to be picked over Scottie Pippen. I'm picking Scottie Pippen first. All right. I'll probably pick for my team Scottie Pippen to start. Okay. And then you can build anything else around that. Because I'm pretty sure Scottie Pippen with a Julius Erving wins more than 3 championships. I'm pretty sure that a Scottie Pippen with a Michael Jordan wins you 6 championships. I'm pretty sure that a Scottie Pippen with a LeBron James gives you more than 4 championships. Right? Because we saw how successful D Wade was with LeBron James. And LeBron James hasn't gotten that kind of support since then. And Scottie Pippen, if you had Scottie Pippen or Tracy McGrady with LeBron James, when LeBron James was in his prime, and tear it up. Right? You get more championships. Because Scottie Pippen with LeBron James, you getting championships. That's a guarantee. Okay? Because he's going to make LeBron's job so easy. All right, so, yeah. I disagree with Dominic Wilkins, and I disagree with Kevin Durant being better small forwards than Scottie Pippen if it is the goal of a franchise is to win championships. They not better than Scottie Pippen. You know, they could come off the bench like Tony Kukoc. You know what I mean? But they ain't better than Scottie Pippen. All right. Elgin Baylor. So they decided to go way back in the time and look at Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was a hell of a player. And he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. He played for the New Orleans Jazz. And he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. Played from 1958 to 1971. All right. But the glaring thing here, and I know there were less teams back then and all of that, but the glaring thing here, unfortunately for Elgin Baylor, is once again that he did not win any championships. Once again, the thing about Elgin Baylor that was great was he was a scoring guy, and he was also great at rebounding. He reminded me of a better version of Horace Grant. He scored 27 points a game. He'd have 14 rebounds. That's ridiculous. And he'd have 4 assists. Okay? I hate to say it, but you bring up this guy's name and I don't see no championships. You see what I'm saying? I don't see no championships. That's the problem. So you can bring up this great player, Elgin Baylor, who's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Great, great player. But the problem with it is championships. He was a great rebounder, strong rebounder, gifted shooter, accomplished passer. Was best known for his trademark hanging jump shot. So he would hang in the air and then shoot the ball. I want to say this. Great player. But I'm not picking him over Scottie Pippen. Sorry. Not picking him over Scottie Pippen. Okay. So these were the names that these haters brought up concerning Scottie Pippen. Oh, there's Larry Bird as well. Larry Bird. Larry Bird was something. No if, buts, or maybe. He was a small forward, and he played with the Boston Celtics. He was a 3-time NBA champion in 1981, 84, and 1986 with the Boston Celtics. All right? And he was critical to the success of the Boston Celtics. All right? He was critical. He led the Boston Celtics to their wins. Robert Parrish and the whole nine. Danny Ainge and all those guys. He scored. Again, he was a scoring guy, but look at the amazing numbers he has here. He really has some amazing numbers. He scored 24 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 6 assists a game. All these numbers are better than Scottie Pippen, right? Defensively, this guy was a hell of a defensive player. And offensively, he shone greatly. Okay? He's almost unguardable. So when you talk about Larry Bird, you have to put some respect on that name. In terms of small power forwards, Larry Bird's name is up there. And yeah, I would have Larry Bird. No doubt about it. Won with 3 championships. I'd have Larry Bird. Definitely on my team as a small forward. Dude knew how to play team basketball. You know, even though he wasn't the guy that necessarily brought the ball up the floor, again, Scottie Pippen had more dimension than Larry Bird. Would I say that he was a better defensive player than Larry Bird? Probably, because Scottie Pippen could guard more than one person at once. But offensively, Larry Bird was tremendous. And not only that, but Larry Bird was a guy who would dish off the ball. You know, he would do whatever it is to get that bucket, right? And just an extremely clever player and gifted. He could dunk with either hand, he could shoot with either hand, and so on. So Larry Bird was obviously is a must if you're gonna. And is he ranked above Scottie Pippen? Probably. Larry Bird's probably a better small forward than Scottie Pippen. That's probably true. Okay, so because he really had all around game. Now Scottie Pippen could defend. I think Scottie Pippen is a better defender than Larry Bird in terms of how much people he could defend and cover and make other people's work easier. But because Larry Bird played with the Celtics and the Celtics were a well-oiled machine, they've always been. They play team basketball really, really well. Larry Bird may not need somebody like that because the Celtics really held down whoever they were guarding and read the defense accordingly. So they were a great defensive team, as also the Detroit Pistons were known for their tough defense. So Larry Bird and Larry Bird would be another one that's in the top 5. So if we're talking top 5, we're talking now Dr. J, Larry Bird, LeBron James, Scottie Pippen. Now, I'm in no particular order, by the way. That's what we got for top 5 so far. But so we got LeBron, Scottie Pippen, Julius Erving, and Larry Bird so far, right? James Worthy. Tell you something now. You got James Worthy, you got Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is like, as a defensive stop, that motherfucker is bad. Okay? Kawhi Leonard. Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard first. So we're gonna get into Kawhi Leonard here. You got James Worthy and you got Kawhi Leonard. Them two, we got to talk about them. Okay? Then you also got Paul Pierce. All right? You got Paul Pierce. Unfortunately, Grant Hill, his career cut short too quickly, so I can't really say nothing. And he didn't win no championship, so it is what it is. But when you talk about, and Tracy McGrady was a hell of a player, but again, no championships. You got to get championships. Glenn Rice, if I'm not mistaken, he won a couple championships, right? But defensively, nah, he ain't really all that. All right, so let me get up to James Worthy. We got James Worthy and Kawhi Leonard. Somebody gonna be number 5. You know, it's between James Worthy and Kawhi Leonard. Let's look at James Worthy first. Let me see what we got here. James Worthy, Basketball Hall of Fame. All right, what I'm gonna do, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. All right, we're gonna do it like this. Okay. James Worthy. James Worthy is about the same height as Scottie Pippen. Okay. Now, James Worthy won 3 NBA championships: 1985, 1987, and 1988. 3 NBA championships, right? With the LA Lakers, right? And for his entire career, he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers, they had a history of winning championships. They won a championship in 1982, then they won one in 1985, 1987, 1988, and 2000 with Shaq and onwards. So they've been winning a lot of championships. They actually have 18 championships. They're a franchise that produce championship teams. Okay, fine. But James Worthy, importantly, won championship in 1985, 1987, and 1988. Now, here's the important point. Okay. The LA Lakers have been winning championships regularly since 1980. Right? Well, actually, no. They won championships in the 1950s. Then they had one championship in the 1970s. And then they got a whole bunch of championships in the 1980s. The question you have to ask yourself is, was James Worthy a very important piece with the LA Lakers, an invaluable piece of the LA Lakers? Now, because he played with the LA Lakers for all of his career, we have to argue that he was. Now, he was there when they won a championship in 85. However, the LA Lakers had won a championship also in 1982. And they continued to win championships without James Worthy. It was a whole different setup, though. Okay, so let's see. And by the way, it took many, many years, about 12 years before they won the next championship in 2000. All right, so the team, James Worthy, what I need to know about is the 1982 team. Okay, so 1982 team, you got Pat Riley there still, right? You got the 76ers versus the LA Lakers, all right? You have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper. I haven't heard about that guy in a long time. You got Magic Johnson still is on that team. You got so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson. All right. All right. Let me see here. Here's the rosters for that year. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, Magic Johnson. Those are the main guys. Okay. All right. And they won the 1982 championship. Okay, now. So after 1982, 1983, 1984, they ain't win nothing. Then in 1985, they won something. James Worthy came in probably 1984. And James Worthy was on that team until the 1990s. So it was a totally different team. It was Byron Scott and AC Green and all those guys. Kareem was at the end of his kind of at the end of his role by 1991. But Kareem was still there. So Kareem was a very important foundational member. Then you had Magic Johnson. So it was Magic Johnson, you had Kareem, and then you had James Worthy that joined on in 1985. I think they won in 84. And I believe, I think James Worthy came in the year. When did James Worthy come into the thing? That's the thing I need to know. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me see. It's somewhere here. Hold on a second. James Worthy, where are you? What's this? No, I don't want the LA Lakers. I want James Worthy. Okay. All right, now let's see okay. So he came in 82. James Worthy was there in 82. Right? But the LA Lakers had won, the Los Angeles Lakers had won a championship in 82. Okay, so James Worthy came in the year of 1982. He didn't play on the team. He wasn't on the roster, but in 82, he was there. All right, when they won yet another championship. Okay. So he was there in 82, but he was a key player in 85. And he had Byron Scott, he had AC Green, all them guys. So I would say that he was an integral part of the Lakers. And even when Kareem, was out of the Lakers, he was there. Now, was he as principal a player as a small forward as, say, Scottie Pippen was for the Bulls? No, he wasn't. Kareem was the main guy, and Magic Johnson. They were like the main anchors for the team. But he was one of the big. He was like a big finisher player for the L.A. Lakers. All right. So how do I look at him? He had good defense, great scorer, and I guess that goes without saying. We've seen a lot of great scorers now. So he was a great scorer as well. Let me see. Again, he wasn't on the all defensive team, but he was decent on defense. His average for his career was 18 points per game, 5 rebounds. So it's kind of like Scottie Pippen numbers. He just didn't have as much assists. He had less rebounds than Scottie Pippen. I think Scottie Pippen had 6. And an assist, because he's a small forward, collecting the ball and going to the rim, he had less assists and he had less rebounds. So Scottie Pippen's stats look a little better than his. I think he scored a little bit more points than Scottie Pippen. But, again, Scottie Pippen would get everybody involved. He's like the point guard, bringing the ball down the floor, whereas Magic Johnson was that guy. James Worthy wasn't that guy. Okay. Again, James Worthy wasn't as integral to the success of the LA Lakers as Magic and Kareem were, but he was one of the major scorers on the team. But he was a go-to guy. So he was the same size as Scottie Pippen, 5'9", etc. 6'9", sorry. I would say though that Scottie Pippen, I would say he could be in the 5th position. Like he could be, top 5 greatest players of all time, because again, he got the team 3 NBA championships, but he wasn't the principal player. He didn't lead the team to victories and stuff like that, and he wasn't. I mean, he played with the LA Lakers for his entire career, so he was an important member, but he still wasn't. Even when Magic Johnson was gone, or Kareem was gone, the LA Lakers didn't win nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he needed those guys. He needed the Byron Scotts and so on, to AC Greens and so on, to win championships. All right. So I would say he's a lesser version of what Scottie Pippen brought to the table. And therefore, I don't see him as a better championship delivering player as Scottie Pippen was. And Scottie Pippen more thrived on the defensive end. It would be more of a better defensive stop than, say, James Worthy. But James Worthy was a hell of a player, as we all know. And again, played the small forward position to perfection. He played it in its true essence as a forward. So, and he was a high flying forward too, dunk on your head, could fly. So, him and Byron Scott was a clutch kind of 3-point shooting guy, could light you up, So that combination was really dynamic. But I would say that James Worthy would probably be in my top 5. Now, Kawhi Leonard, let's talk about him. Kawhi Leonard. I don't know how to spell his name, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Kawhi. I don't know if I'm spelling it right. Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. This guy I am impressed with this guy. Kawhi Leonard is impressive to me. Now, he's only 6'7", and he played for the following teams: the San Antonio Spurs, the Toronto Raptors, and the Los Angeles Clippers. He's a two-time NBA champion. He was a champ with the San Antonio Spurs, and he was a champ with the Toronto Raptors. Okay? And this dude knows how to play defense, and he also knows how to play offense. This is his stats at present. His career is still ongoing. He give you 20 points a game. He give you 6 rebounds, and he give you 3 assists. Remember, he's like a true small forward, but a defensive small forward. Like he could pull up and light it up for you, but also at the same time, his real thing is his defense, right? So, you gotta look at Kawhi Leonard. You gotta respect the fact that he was on 2 different teams and was able to win championships with 2 different teams. San Antonio Spurs, obviously, that was led by Tim Duncan. And if I'm not mistaken, in 2014, let's see what that team looked like. 2000 NBA Finals. Let me see the roster. Yep, Tim Duncan was there. Yeah, Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. So he wasn't a principal player. You know what I mean? He wasn't a principal. Let me see if I can get the roster first. Here's the roster for the San Antonio Spurs. You got Duncan there. You got Ginobili. You got Danny Green. You got Kawhi's on there. Got Tony Parker. So he was contributing to the defense on that team. But he wasn't principal. Like, he wasn't indisposable. He probably come off that team and still, so he wasn't like that. But having said that, that's big, and then he was on the Toronto Raptors. So that's huge. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was the MVP for the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors defeated the Bucks 4-2. And if I'm not mistaken, it seems as though they beat the Warriors. They beat the Warriors. So that's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Here's the roster anyway. Let me see if I can find something right here. Well, I got some player statistics. Here's the roster right here. So he's playing with Danny Green. He's there. That's about it, really. It's just incredible. I don't know what his numbers look like, but that's incredible. You know what I'm saying? He now playing with the Clippers. So I would say he actually probably led that team to victory. I don't know. Because that's their only championship. He was able to deliver a championship to that team. And if I'm not mistaken, he's probably one of the principal players on that team. Let me see the player statistics here for that. So this is the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, Steph Curry, and they. Ooh, okay. I can't seem to get this stuff to maneuver the way I wanted to. And Kevin Durant was on that team. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. All right, so here. What the fuck, dude? Points per game. Kawhi Leonard, 20. Shit, this motherfucker took it up. He had 30 points per game. This dude was scoring like crazy, right? He was the main scorer for the team. Then he had Pascal Siakam. I don't know who the fuck he was, but he was scoring on average 19, almost 20 points a game. And then you had the other guys pitching in 16 points a game. I don't even know who these guys are. Kyle Lowry. Fred, whatever. Man, the whole team was involved. Kawhi Leonard, man, fucking crazy. Crazy numbers. So, yeah, that's why we talk about Kawhi Leonard, because he took the Toronto Raptors to a victory against the Golden State Warriors. That is fucking crazy in 2019. That is insane. You know? And he seems as though he got all his team involved. That's like the Pippen effect. And still was scoring mad points. This motherfucker is crazy. So he led the Toronto Raptors to a victory. And now he's with the who is he with now? He's now with the Los Angeles Clippers. That's insane. So Kawhi Leonard is a different, he's a different beast. We yet to see what he does with the rest of his career. It's not 2025. We'll see. But yeah, you got to put him up there. You got to put him up there. He actually led a team to a championship. Scottie Pippen wasn't successful at leading the Portland Trailblazers to a championship, or the Bulls team in 1993-94 season to a championship. Kawhi Leonard did it. He did it with Danny Green. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give this guy man props. Now, if I want to get championships, then he gonna have to be one of my top 5. Now, would I put him ahead of James Worthy? Fuck yeah. I'll put him ahead of James Worthy. He led a team to victory, man. He did what Dr. J did. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you gotta put him above James Worthy. Is he above Scottie Pippen? I mean, if he could do that one more time, fuck yeah. I mean, Scottie Pippen never did that. Michael Jordan never did that. Michael Jordan led a team. Yeah, he led a team to be, but Kawhi Leonard, man, fucking crazy, man. Just crazy. Them figures are crazy figures I'm seeing with the Toronto Raptors. It's crazy figures. So, this guy, we're gonna still wait and see if he can do that again with the LA Clippers. You just never know with this guy, So we're gonna see. But he's somebody you gotta watch. You gotta seriously watch. In terms of top 10 small forwards, he displaces James Worthy. He's number 5. So in the top 5 picks I've got, in terms of small forwards, okay, we got Scottie Pippen, we got Kawhi Leonard, we got Dr. J, we got Larry Bird. Who's the other guy? I'm leaving out somebody. Who am I leaving? LeBron James. Those 5 guys, yeah, they probably the best small forwards of all time. Of all fucking time. Kawhi Leonard's, he gonna be in there. He gonna be in there because he literally took a team to a championship victory. And I mean, he put up points too on top of that. And distributed the ball. And got everybody involved. Fucking crazy. And played defense. But this motherfucker crazy, man. The first championship he had with the Spurs, okay, he was a part of a team. He was playing this position. But when he got to Toronto Raptors, he made that team fire on all cylinders. He was like he was a critical piece of that team. So you gotta talk about you gotta talk about Kawhi Leonard. It's just what it is. He's there with Dr. J. He's there with LeBron James in terms of getting championships for teams. We didn't talk about Paul Pierce, and he's another guy you got to talk about when you're talking about top small forwards. The problem with Paul Pierce was Paul Pierce didn't pass the fucking ball. He just did not do that. He was a small forward. He scored. He was about scoring. So that's the downside to Paul Pierce. Larry Bird, LeBron James, Dr. J, Kawhi Leonard, Scottie Pippen. Honestly, if you want championships, and You want either a guy to lead you to a championship or want a guy that facilitates to bring about that championship or get you close to the championship, and then you got an extra piece put in there to get you to the championship. You talking about these guys. You talking about Dr. J, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen. And I would say the guy that comes after all of them is James Worthy. He would be my sixth man. You know what I mean? He'd be my sixth small forward. James Worthy was crazy too. And maybe somebody else like a Horace Grant or you know, a guy that's clutch. He'll if you give him the ball, he gonna get it in the basket. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about small forwards, well, Horace Grant wasn't really a small forward. He's more power forward, actually. He was a bigger dude. He was 6'10". But still, nonetheless, yeah. I would have KD probably. KD can do more than Horace Grant. So maybe KD was a scoring machine, maybe at 7, you know. Paul Pierce maybe somewhere down at 9, 10. So if I was talking top 10, Paul Pierce would be in that. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys, man. I've been talking for a good minute about this basketball. I got to get out of here. But you guys have a good one, man. Kevin Durant, he's a good player, but I don't class him in the... Kawhi Leonard's better than him. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. Kawhi Leonard led a team, you know, in every single kind of way. And I think Kawhi Leonard's better than KD all day, every day. I think Tony Kukoc could do more things than KD could, you know. But KD's a good player, but he's good fundamentally. He can do quite a lot of things. He's a big guy. But KD reminded me of a Glenn Rice, an improved version of Glenn Rice. Pure shooter, that kind of thing, you know. But I think if we're gonna talk basketball, he not in the top. He not in the top, like he not in the LeBron James equation, in my opinion. Again, you got to make all the players better. And you know, you look at LeBron James stats, you know, and how many triple doubles he had. You know, it's not just scoring; it's distributing the ball. It's getting other people involved in the game. And Kawhi Leonard's that dude. You know, like I rank Kawhi Leonard above KD. I rank him above, you know, a lot of players. Yeah, maybe even above Scottie Pippen because the numbers he was putting up and getting everybody else involved, you know, and taking a team that never had a championship and giving them a championship. I mean, so much he just did that it's got a lot more value. And Pippen almost did something like that, but well, Portland Trail Blazers had won championships before, but he was gonna, you know, revive it or whatever. But nah, Kawhi's different, man. All right, so that's what I got for you guys. I'm gonna catch you guys later. It was fun talking this stuff. Smash the like button if you like.